that. All right. So this is where we stop. So let's finish off the diplomatic tensions, and we can be done with 7.3. So once again, Germany is now unified. Bismarck needs to keep them strong, and so he decides to do that with multiple alliances. That way, they can be safe from anything potentially bad happening, especially if France decides to seek retaliation for being humiliated like they were in the Franco-Prussia War. So the Three Emperors League is formed between Germany, Russia, and Austria-Hungary, and it's to have somewhat control of Eastern Europe. All right, and because that whole Balkan area is very unstable, unreliable, very volatile. However, Austria-Hungary and Russia cannot get along because the Austria-Hungaries care about their multiple national uh, ethnic groups, whereas Russia cares heavily for the Slavic people, and so because of those major differences, they this Three Emperors League ends up pittering out. The reinsurance treaty. It's a secret deal between Germany and Russia. Russia feels very isolated, right? Because they were isolated during the Crimean War. And so Germany's like, hey, here's an extending hand. Let us help. They decide that if either of them gets involved in a war, that then the other one will stay neutral. That way they don't have to worry about the other one joining in. But then Bismarck noticed that Russia was sending cute text messages to France, and he really didn't want them to be friends. And so he also signed the reinsurance treaty to prevent Russia and France to be friends, and mainly to prevent a potential two-front war happening, right? He didn't want Russia and France to be friends and then attack him, and he would have to fight on both sides. And then the last alliance that we're going to talk about is the Triple Alliance. It's between the German Empire, the Italian Empire, and the Austria-Hungary Empire. And the idea mainly between all of these alliances is to keep France isolated, right? Because they are strong, and although they just got humiliated, even Otto von Bismarck knows not to underestimate his opponents, okay? Now, with all these alliances, and then there was a few more that we're not going to talk about, there's a lot of just antagonistic alliances, and flexibility is very tough. And so negotiating with all of these countries, because you never know who has an alliance with whom, it makes things very difficult to get things done. All right? And yes, these are the same, this is the same triple alliance that is World War One. So it stays true for quite some time. Now, back to the Balkans real quick. The Balkans area is right over here. Russia is kind of not. Russia's got this little chunk, but they are a massive country off the picture. Austria-Hungary is right here. The new formed Italy is right here. And then the Ottoman Empire is all right here. And then you have all these mini states, right? Romania, Bulgaria, Serbia, Bosnia, which the Ottoman Empire used to own all of this and used to own all of this, but due to the springtime of nations, it kind of got lost some land. So, with lots of growing national sentiment, lots of problems are happening in this area. Lots of problems. And so Bismarck says we need to fix these problems. And so he forms the Congress of Berlin, which is where these major countries of Russia, Austria-Hungary, Italy, get to meet up and figure out what to do. But they only worried about the balance of power between the big countries, and they didn't even really worry about, would these small countries want to rule themselves one day? And they're like, nah, we can keep controlling them, it's fine. And so the Congress of Berlin just kept increasing tensions. All right. And then last one, all of these little areas, and I'm not exactly sure when this map was created, but because I'm pretty sure the Ottoman Empire was over here still at this time period. But anywho, a lot of these multi-ethnic nationalist movements started forming, and they wanted to get freedom from Austria-Hungary. They wanted to get freedom from Russia. They wanted to get freedom from Ottoman Empire. And so we have these series of Balkan Wars. There's 2 of them, actually. And to make things even uglier, the Triple Alliance that was just formed between Italy, Austria-Hungary, and Prussia couldn't decide on picking the same people's sides. They kept choosing different people's sides to help out on during these Balkan Wars, which further splintered the Triple Alliance. And that is all for 7.3. All right. 7.4, we're dealing with Darwin, so that will be kind of fun. And the next few topics are relatively straightforward. Have a good NTI day, and I will see you all tomorrow.